Hey fam, it's me Aaron for Comics Show. It is a great week for comics. Convergence is over, and now DC's doing this DCU type of thing where it's a lot of first issues and new jump-on points for every book out there. And I like several of them. You guys know that I'm a big DC enthusiast going back to my childhood. They're my favorite characters. I have the most affinity for them. But I'm not like an apologist. I'm not like, oh, you know, they're the, blah. When they screw up, and I say they screwed up. And because it hurts me. It actually hurts me as a fan. But this book is what I've been waiting for the most out of every returning book there is. This title, this issue was what I wanted the most. It's Jeff Johns, Fabok on art, and it's Darkseid War #1. And it's essentially the rematch from the very first story, the origin Justice League story with issue 1, where they're fighting Darkseid and they won. This is Darkseid's back, and he has all his new gods of apocalypse minions, and they're badass. They're actually badass. They're not like hokey or corny or whatever. They're pretty awesome. This league is awesome. I don't know how this fits into continuity when we have Superman like this, depowered, and everyone knows he's Clark here. We got Batman as, you know, not Bruce Wayne, because Bruce Wayne is apparently dead. We have Hal Jordan as a renegade outlaw, but I don't care where this fits because it is awesome, and I know it'll fit some way. And it's Darkseid versus the Anti-Monitor, and there are so many cool scenes in here. There's so many of those Jeff Johnsian moments that just be like, oh wow, oh, that really, there's joy here. There's joy in this panel. Oh, you know, Shazam and Cyborg, just Captain Cold and Superman's interchange. Like those exchanges, it's just, that is what I love. And that book had all that stuff, all that good stuff about DC's characters and where they shine and how they shine. Superman Truth, this is Greg Pak and Cooter on art and co-plotting, co-writing somehow, something, I don't know the ins and outs of that. But this was pretty freaking awesome. And I know you can say it on the internet to make it sound really stupid, like Superman doesn't have flight anymore, he can just jump high and, you know, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, his powers are reduced. People know he's Clark. This was in that Free Comic Book Day Divergent issue. It was fun. It was the best new take on Superman in a long time in, you know, the mainstream universe books. And I'm excited, I enjoyed it. It's fun, it's crazy, it's, yeah, let's see this Superman. Let's see more of this Superman. That was cool. Renegade Hal Jordan, same creative team. It's good. No idea what's going on. No idea why Hal Jordan is doing what he's doing. He's not insane. He's not evil like Parallax, but he is on the run. He sounds like he did something extremely hot-headed, which is in his character, and got wanted from the Green Lantern Corps. And we know from, this is not a spoiler from the book, but we just know from other solicitations that the Green Lanterns are lost. There's a lost army. And he has this weird gauntlet that we've seen versions of a gauntlet and instead of a ring. And it was pretty good. It was pretty crazy. Midnighter, #1, this is one of the ones I was most interested in. It's basically spinning out of Grayson. And it was trippy cool. It had a little bit of weird pacing funkiness, but lots of action. I liked it. If you like the character Midnighter, I really think you'd like it. The Omega Men, this is the weirdest one out of all their launches that you say, like, why are they doing the Mega Men again? Why are they trying to do this weird sci-fi stuff? And if you read the 8-page preview type of sample, they killed Kyle Rayner, the White Lantern, in it, ISIS style, like execution style, killed him because there's the Alpha and the Omega, and they're the Omega, they're the end, they're gonna put things right, highly political stuff. Yet this issue is weird. And this is like, maybe you'd read better as a collection, as a trade. There was a whole lot of stuff going on, a whole lot of ideas, a whole lot of zaniness. There was only a teeny little bit of Kyle Rayner White Lantern in it, and it wasn't just redoing those pages we've already seen. I'm in. I'm in for Omega Men. That's cool. You know, it might all fall apart, and it might be a lot of crazy cool ideas that it doesn't end up being executed well. But so far, I like it. I like the pitch. I like what's going on. It has enough craziness and it's enough of its own unique thing. There's not like, oh, no one's doing anything with Omega Men or sci-fi stuff, go do a sci-fi book. No, this book has a purpose and a reason for being, and it's highly political, and that's cool. I love my sci-fi political. Just for fun, just for shits and giggles, Bizarro, this book was super fun. If you want something lighthearted, something kind of like a Squirrel Girl or a Rocket Raccoon or Howard the Duck, or how humor is executed very well by a lot of Marvel books, you will get that with Bizarro. DC did that back in the early 2000s with Bizarro World. The Simpsons creator did some of that. That was fun. It's more in that vein. It's not continuity. It's just fun, funny stuff with Bizarro and Jimmy Olsen being worst of enemies and going around and doing crazy stuff. And I thoroughly enjoyed it. Batmite, on the other hand, I like the premise, the idea that Batmite feels like he made Batman who he is. And I can relate to that because I've had so many pains in the ass that thought that they helped me get successful when they really were just a pain in my freaking ass. So I can relate to Batman and Batmite, but Batmite thinks he's going to do that for some other DC heroes. And you see this cover, which I don't particularly care for the cover, but you see there's all these other heroes here that he might help become as popular as Batman with him just being a jerk and messing things up, or what he thinks is making them more likable. And it's Dan Jurgens, who I don't see as a humor writer. He's the guy that killed Superman. Yes, he created Booster Gold, and I love Booster Gold, but he's mainly known for killing Superman. He's not mainly known as a humorist. And uneven first issue. I like the premise, but whatever. Batman Beyond, also Dan Jurgens. This is more in his wheelhouse. This is action. This kind of is a post-apocalyptic Batman Beyond universe. You know, if you've read all the current to-dos and whatnot, that this isn't Terry. If you read the preview pages, you know this isn't Terry. Who it is a Batman character, and it is pretty awesome who it is. And I'm not going to spoil it with the first issue, but it's already been known for a long time now if you read these comics. But I liked it. I liked those Omega creepy, crawly bugs, and it was cool. I liked the first issue of that. Green Arrow, it's back to gritty crime. He's back in Seattle. Cool. I enjoyed it. Nothing to get jumped up and down excited about with the first issue, but it's a return to a pretty cool Green Arrow. It's not Jeff Lemire, whom I love, but it's serviceable. And Cullen Bunn's Lobo, though I don't care for this version of Lobo and never did, I obviously have affinity to the earlier version of Lobo. This issue was pretty enjoyable. I wouldn't have read it, but for this DCU rebranding, relaunch of things, it wasn't bad. It really wasn't bad. If it wasn't Lobo, I'd be like, oh, this is kind of cool. So, maybe I'm a hypocritical asshole. But, it is what it is. Secret Wars 3, oh my God, this book is freaking awesome. I just can't even, this is everything that Hickman has been doing and building up since Fantastic Four, since FF, since all his Avengers, everything he's done leading to this, and it's been executed so well. Doom is running everything. Doom is the god of this battle world, and everything's perfect except for him, because, Doom's Doom. There's so many cool things in here. We don't just get these alternate versions of characters that Doom made in this world that he created himself, but we also have some bad guys that were on a ship with Thanos and some junk, that Cabal, and then we have the Illuminati that are in this issue, and it's awesome. And I can't tell you enough how much I like this Secret Wars. Anyone that's it's going to be just this reboot and it's going to make it more like the movie universe, whatever. This is fun. This is smart. This is accessible, and this is enjoyable. This is why I like comics. So, I don't like bitching about things on the internet. I like reading comics that make me happy, and Secret Wars makes me happy. Moving on to all these tie-ins, Dan Slott on Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows is giving the fans what they think they want, which is a married Spider-Man with a kid. It's Dan Slott. It was highly enjoyable, but I know he's going to be showing you why that's not what you really want. And this issue, though, had an insanely badass Venom versus Spider-Man, Brock versus Parker, brawl to the death, which was awesome. Maybe not to the death. I don't know. It's comics, and it's alternate reality comics, but it was highly enjoyable. And he's married with a kid. That's what you wanted, right, guys? So here you go. You got it now. Little Marvel, Young Marvel, Baby Marvel, A vs. X. This is Scotty Young stuff, and apparently this is part of Battleworld because why not? We enjoyed it. It's fun. And this is Avengers vs. X-Men. A lot of funny humor, a lot of good stuff, a lot of stuff, inside jokes about the movie universes, them fighting over Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. A lot of just fun, just pure fun, childlike fun, and I enjoyed it. And you probably will too if you're a fun person. Extinction Agenda, this Inferno was one of my first crossovers I've ever read with the X-Men, and it was fun. It's Havoc, Wolfsbane, Genosha. There's a virus, and they won't cure them. The regular mutants, the mutants that don't have the virus, they're in their utopia area. They will not do anything. They're the oppressors. And it was a fun issue. Guggenheim wrote it, and I enjoyed it. Years of Futures Past, this Kitty Pryde, Wolverine, that whole future storyline, but now it's in Battleworld. And who doesn't want this again? Like, I got super nostalgic for my X-Men with this Secret Wars, super nostalgic with so far with Inferno and Extinction and Years of Future Past and what's next, E for Extinction. It's fun. Armor Wars, this is like, what if everyone had armor and it's just everyone was Iron Man's, and it's pretty crazy. It is what it is. It's James Robinson, and if you're a hardcore Iron Man fan, you'll like it. If not, okay, don't get it. Future Imperfect, it's Peter David. And if you're a hardcore Hulk fan, absolutely get it. I enjoyed it. It's Maestro Hulk. And finally, Battleworld. Issue 1 was wacky, zany fun. Issue 2, even crazier. You have War Machine, which is actually like General Ross, half robot, and that was a nutty gladiator fight. And the opening thing is Blade and Howard the Duck fighting a duck vampire. But it was highly enjoyable. It was fun. It's written by the guy that writes Shaft, David W. Walker, who's also going to be writing Cyborg. And I enjoyed it. I'm enjoying Battleworld. Big number 1 for Marvel that's not part of Secret Wars. You know, obviously it's something that happens outside of it or after it. Groot, number 1. Groot has his own series. I assure you Rocket Raccoon is in the whole issue translating what Groot says and means every time he says I am Groot, so you don't have to worry about a book where someone just says I am Groot for 22 pages. It was fun, funny, enjoyable. Marvel does humor very well. Great issue, great book. I loved it. All 3 of the main Star Wars books are out this week. Princess Leia's penultimate issue. Star Wars 6, this is the best one yet. The whole thing is Luke versus Boba Fett. Seriously, Luke versus Boba Fett, and Luke's blind the whole time from some kind of flash grenade. You know, similar to how like Han was blind from the carbonite sickness. It was classic Star Wars. It was fun. I got to see Luke fight Boba Fett. It was awesome. And I highly enjoyed it. And this is Vader, what Vader learns here from Boba Fett hits right into this issue that comes out the same day, and it's highly enriched. What he learns here is enriched here with his first person internal monologue about it, and it was awesome. Moving on, finishing up with Image, Airboy. Airboy, the public domain character from the Golden Age that's pretty much just goody two-shoes, you know, World War II dude that, yeah, just all-American, blonde, blue-eyed dude, and they're trashing him, basically. This is James Robinson, who wrote Starman, which I loved, and wrote a lot of stuff since then that just kind of left me cold. And he admits it in here. He's the main character in here. James Robinson's the main character in here. And Eric Stevenson from Image calls him up in this book and says, I want you to write Airboy. And he's like, oh, I don't want to be known and pigeonholed as the Golden Age guy after Starman and the Golden Age and all that stuff. And he's like, look, you'd be perfect for this. I want you to do it. He doesn't come up with any ideas. He gets the artist. The artist comes so they can work together and come up with ideas. And instead, they just have 3 ways with chicks and do tons of cocaine, get just shit-faced drunk. They have their penises out. It's just total debauchery. But these confessional things of James Robinson that he feels like a hack, he feels like he screwed up his life, he feels so much regret. That's what I loved. The Sandman or the Starman omnibus, all those omnibi, the forwards where he is talking about his time doing that book and all the regrets he has. That was so good. And now we get this as a narrative story. And this is him, James Robinson, returning to form. Instead of writing Jack Knight as him, perhaps, he's writing himself, and Airboy's involved in it. I promise you Airboy's involved in it in a way, in a real way, probably, if he's not hallucinating. And it was awesome. And I can't say enough about try Airboy. I know it sounds ridiculous and stupid, but try Airboy. Nonplayer 2 is out. Number 1 was out like 3 years ago. It got like best single issue, best new talent, best all that stuff, you know, and it was extremely good. And I read issue 2, and it's also extremely good. He's not a one-hit wonder. He's right now a 2-hit wonder. And I liked it. As long as 3 comes out in a somewhat timely manner, all is forgiven. I reread issue 1, read issue 2, thoroughly enjoyed it. And finally, Jupiter's Circle. I'm freaking loving this book. Mark Miller. Jupiter's Legacy was cool about how decadent our society is, showing that through superheroes. This is showing us the society of the past, of the 50s, and how things weren't that great back then anyway. You know, what is all this stuff about the greatest generation? You know, whatever. So they had all the same problems we had. They were just like bigger racists, you know. Well, they weren't wholesome. Come on, whatever. But I'm highly enjoying it. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.